Will being frugal make you rich?
Yes.
No. Oh. Welcome to Under the Median, where practical frugality meets real life. I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry. So what is the deal with frugality? Is it a good thing, a bad thing, a neutral thing?
In this video, we'll share reasons why frugality definitely can be a tool for building wealth. We'll also give you some reasons why it may not be working as well as you expected that it would.
Remember, this is a conversation, so join in that conversation. We would love to read your comments below. Here's why frugality works to build wealth.
Number one, frugality helps to build wealth over time. We like to say frugality is low and slow. You have a whole lot of frugal things that you try. Maybe they save a few dollars here, a few dollars there. But when you add them all up together, yes, over time, it does help you to build significantly the amount of money sitting in your bank account.
Frugality works kind of like a slow cooker when it comes to making your meals. It takes a lot of time and it takes some effort to put into it, and it takes consistency. You have to stay with it, and over time you will see good results. While it may not seem very dramatic over the short term, it's over the long term that you see results. So make sure that you're looking at it from that standpoint.
Here's the second reason that frugality helps you to build wealth over time, and that is that it does protect you against lifestyle creep. What is lifestyle creep? That's what happens when you have a budget set. You get yourself a little raise. So instead of putting that raise in the bank, you tend to do what? You tend to spend that raise. You tend to celebrate, but then you keep on celebrating. And you tend to up your lifestyle in accordance with how much money you make. That's lifestyle creep. In frugality, you're figuring out all the time new ways that you can save money. You're implementing those ideas and testing your theories to see if it does indeed help you to save more money at the end of every month, every quarter, or every year. By doing that, your mind is constantly acclimated to, oh, what can I do with this extra money?
Right.
Rather than thinking, I'm just going to spend this extra money.
Frugality helps you to focus on what truly matters. What you end up doing is spending more time discerning what exactly is the difference between your needs and your wants. And once you get that determined, it becomes much easier to save the amount of money that before you were just spending on things that you thought that you wanted.
I think one of the things that you do is you begin to think of money in terms of how is this expense helping me to meet my goals? We talk a lot about questions you should ask yourself before you save money. And one of those questions is, how will this purchase impact my other goals? If it affects those goals in such a way that you have to elongate the amount of time you're saving for those goals, or it will completely derail you from reaching a specific financial goal, then you learn over time that you maybe don't want to spend your money in that way.
Frugality puts you in control of your money. It helps you to make the decisions on exactly where that money is spent, where it's invested, and what you will end up actually purchasing with it. You're in control instead of the money being in control of you.
So how can your money be in control of you? Generally, this happens when we're really spending money not in accordance to our own goals, our own values, our own needs. We are spending money because other people are telling us to spend money. It might be the people at work, the people at church, your neighbors, your friends. It might be social media. It might be those advertisements that you keep flashing in front of your face. But one of the questions to really ask yourself is, why am I spending this money? Who is telling me that I need to spend this money? And sometimes you find out you're spending money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people that you really don't need to impress. Now we're going to switch gears here and talk about the reasons why frugality may not be saving you as much money as you thought that it would. But before we do that, if you are in a position where you're thinking, I just really need to save more money every month, tell me how to do that. You want to grab a copy of our free Guide to Reducing Expenses. I walk you step by step through 10 specific ways that you can save money, in their checklists also in the guide. The guide is free. There's a link, guys, in the description of the video.
So here's why it might not be working for you. You might be forgetting that frugality is only one tool in your toolbox. There's a lot of other aspects to this that are involved.
Now, frugality may very well be one of the main tools in your toolbox, but the question we want to answer is, so what are the other tools that I need to remember are available to me when it comes to spending money? Another tool in your toolbox will be clearly written financial goals. This is one of the things that took us a little bit to figure out that we needed to have these. And here's why this happened. Because we were just saving money. We're going to tell you that is not the best way to build wealth, even with frugality and all the other tools we'll talk about that belong in your toolbox. Because you're saving money, but it becomes what we call a big green pile of cash. We saw money in our savings account and just went wild.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we need a van. We need a nice van. We need a newer van. We need an 8-passenger van. We need. And we spent money from our savings account, which should have been allocated to other savings goals. But we didn't even realize it until it was too late, guys, because we didn't know what the savings account was even earmarked for. So make sure that you have specific goals and that you are tracking your progress on those goals.
A strong written budget is like a roadmap giving you guidance on where you're going to go with your money. It's very important to have that budget written up and written in a very specific way.
Now, not only should your budget be written, but you should also be tracking your expenses and making sure that you are spending money, which is in alignment with the budget that you just went all the time, trouble, and effort to write out.
You'll also want to track your savings methods. This gives you an idea of what methods are working the best, the ones that are helping you put the most money away and do it in a way that works for you. So make sure you're tracking those so you know exactly what you're doing.
We're going to give you a super easy way for you to remember how you're going to track your success on these frugal savings methods. We call this our pie chart for various reasons. Now, you're going to see that first step is to plan. What specifically are you going to do? What frugal methods of saving money are you going to focus on for the next 30 days? Give it 30 days at least, because sometimes it takes a little while for these saving methods to kick in so that you can see some savings in the end. So you're going to plan, you are going to implement, that's the I, and then you're going to evaluate. At the end of that 30 days, wait the whole 30 days, then you're going to look at how well did it work? Did we save any money? Do I feel like I want to go ahead and rinse and repeat that for the next 30 days to see how well it works for me when I've done it for 60 days? Do I want to implement some new savings strategies over the next 30 days? This is why it is so important to have yearly, quarterly, definitely quarterly savings goals, and then some monthly savings goals and some weekly savings goals. And you are always rinsing and repeating the same pie formula when it comes to frugality.
I think that's a great way that you can improve on this process of saving money by different methods that you're using.
Let's put some more tools in your toolbox, guys. We really like this analogy. All right. You're going to have a well-stocked pantry and meal plan. I think this is overlooked. When it comes to frugality, people tend to think, oh, either it's not going to make that much difference or it's going to take me forever and a day to do this every single week. It really does not take that long, but you would be honestly surprised at how much money you can save by simply meal planning and making sure that you are maximizing your savings at the grocery store.
You'll need to have a system for avoiding impulse spending. Impulse spending can be a great enemy to helping us budget and handle our money and savings, of course. So one of the things that you'll need to do is get a plan in place that helps you to know how you're going to purchase something. Let's say you have an item that you want to purchase that runs around $200 and you don't need it right now. Take some time and do a lot of research. Determine what that item is really going to do for you. How is it going to improve your life? Is it really something you need? Evaluate how much it's going to cost for different brands, and then narrow it down to the very best item if you decide that you need it. This will take time. It may take as much as 1 whole month. And by the time you get done with that, you may realize you just don't need that item at all because you've gone without it for so long.
But let's say you decide, yep, I really do need that item. then you are going to use what we love to call stack that savings. All right. Those are ways that you can stack discounts when you are purchasing something. You're going to look and figure out what time of the year does this item generally go on sale. If it's within the next 60 days that price generally drops, let's just say there's always white sales in January. I never knew what that meant till I was an adult. It's like stores put all of their sheets and pillowcases and towels and wash rags and things. They go on sale in January. That's what white sale means.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so if you're close to January, you're going to say, can I wait 60 days to replace those ratty old bath towels that I have? You probably can. And you're going to find them on sale in January or maybe even early February. Then on top of that, you're going to say, do I have any store coupons that I can stack on top of that sale price? Then you're going to say, can I use something like Rakuten? If you don't use Rakuten, we'll leave our link, guys, in the video description. Rakuten is a way that you can always make sure that you are getting the different coupons available and you're going to get cash back through Rakuten. That is what we mean by stacking those savings.
A side hustle is another way to have some extra money coming in. We all have talents that maybe we don't utilize and think about making money on them. Find something that you can do that'll help you support the regular income that you have coming in right now. And this will add a lot to your savings ability. A side hustle is a great way to increase what you're doing.
But let's just say you have money suddenly come your way. It wasn't a side hustle. It just was like manna from heaven. All right. We call these windfalls and we all have them, whether we think about it or not. Sometimes it's that end of the year bonus. Sometimes it's birthday money. Sometimes you receive a rebate on something that you weren't expecting. It's money that just unexpectedly comes in. Now, here's the thing with windfalls, because you weren't expecting it, it wasn't because of a side hustle, you will tend to want to spend it.
Yep.
That is exactly what you'll want to do with that windfall. That's why it's super important to have a written plan for when we have windfalls in the year 2025. Here's what we will do with that windfall money. Having a detailed, this is like businesses have something called SOPs, standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
We would tell you to treat your home budget like it was a business.
There you go.
And when you have these windfalls come in, you should have a standard list of things that you do when you have a windfall. What are we going to do with that money? What goal is it going to go toward? How are we going to divide it up? Is it going to be 25% for savings? Are we going to take 20% of that windfall, go out to eat as a family because we hardly ever do it anyway? What are you going to do? But think about that and write down today, if you have a windfall, where's that money going to go?
If you have any debt on your budget, a windfall is a great thing to apply toward that debt. One time I got a windfall. I went to work and I had $100 bill taped to my computer monitor because our business had done so well that the boss went around and put a $100 bill on everybody's computer monitor. Well, what did we do with the windfall? We went out and bought a color TV with it because we didn't really have a good plan for what we were going to do with it. So that was an example of poor planning and what not to do.
Now, if you love this idea of visual ways that you can figure out how to save more money and how to make frugality work really, really well for you. We did a video recently where we showed you how to take a whole lot of frugal strategies and divide them up seasonally so that every quarter of the year there are specific frugal tasks that you are concentrating on and maximizing their value. That video is right over there, and I think you'll find it helpful to watch next. Welcome to Under the Medium, where practical frugality meets real life.
You don't say.
Only on days we can talk.